viewers of my channel, Marathi Investors. Uh, Today I'm very excited to show you two strategies wherein you can profit from the high volatility of the markets. So thank you very much for my last video where you showed a lot of enthusiasm. I hope you will like this one too. Now to begin with, this is a VIX graph of Nifty. So VIX is an index that measures volatility that is in the Nifty. If you notice, this graph has peaked around 23rd of March, and from then on, the volatility has come down suddenly. Now today is like 24th of April, 26th of April, and the volatility is almost not there. Uh, this is very suspicious. This is specifically because we are living in the times of coronavirus. This virus is proving to be a lot more deadlier than what we thought earlier. And even the countries like USA, the death toll has reached 50,000. This is definitely a cause of concern. Our generation or like nobody in the previous 100 years has seen anything like this. And even at the face of this, if Nifty is appearing to be stable and calm, it's definitely a sign of worry. So you should suspect that something might just blow up, is going to blow up very soon. So now, given this, if I may ask you a question, where do you think market is heading? Uh, and you have three choices. So first choice, you can always say I'm extremely bullish on India's prospects. Modi is doing all good job. There is very less death toll. Maybe even like India may even find a medicine to the virus. With all that, I'm extremely bullish. You can say that. The other choice you may have is like you can say I'm extremely bearish because there is liquidity crunch in India. There is lockdown announced by not just India but other governments, and recently Templeton had to close six of its hedge funds just because they don't have liquidity. I'm extremely bearish. You can say that. Third type of investor would say I don't care. Now I don't care, that does not mean like I'm not invested, but I'm invested and I still don't care. Now I like that kind of investor. So being bullish or bearish is not going to help you, simply because nobody can predict future. But I don't care attitude is going to help you. Not just you don't care, but you can profit from not caring whether Nifty goes up or down. So I'm going to tell you two strategies on how to not care about the direction of a market. So definitely the next question to ask is like, is there any way basically to profit from the market if it goes either way? I would say yes, there is. So to be able to execute these strategies, I have to explain you what are stock options first. Now many of my viewers are like well versed investors. They very well know what stock options are, but I'm going to explain it in layman's terms. So those investors, experienced investors, please bear with me for this slide. Now to explain what stock options are, uh, I have to tell you a story of my childhood. So when I was a child, we had to book our reservations well in advance. That means if we have to travel from my town to another town, the journey was 12 hours. And since you are traveling with family, there is no way you can travel without reserved seats. But to able to reserve the seats, what you have to do, you have to go to the state transport office. You have to tell them a specific date, time, the bus, and you will say there will be like 5 people and we want the seats reserved. And what you need to do, you need to pay full fare in advance plus some commission for reservation, and then you will get this sort of a handwritten note, and you may travel whenever the time is there. Now pretty soon people realize there is a flaw in this method. The flaw is people cannot plan their things very well in advance. That means like 1 month out or 2 month out, they just cannot plan. Most of the time what used to happen is people would pay full fare and they just will not be able to make up on that day. uh, what used to happen is that they would lose not just the commission but also the fare amount. Sometimes they would get like 10% of it back, but this method was inefficient. So pretty soon the state transport figured out a way out of this. What they said is like, you don't need to pay full fare in advance. All you need to do is like you need to buy a 10 rupees ticket, and with this 10 rupees your seats are reserved. So as long as you show up on that day and that time, your seats are reserved. On that day you will pay the full fare and your journey will proceed. So this worked well because people said like, even if I cannot make out, I cannot make it to the trip after 2 months, all I'm losing is like 10 rupees. So that's not bad. And it wasn't bad for the state transport as well, because state transport said, even if these people do not show up, somebody else will be, they will sit in those seats and they will pay the full fare. So it worked for state transport as well. This solved the problem of both the parties. Now this exact same analogy applies to stock options. This second case wherein you are commission to reserve your seats is exactly the same case with stock options. When you buy a stock option, all you are doing is like you are paying a premium for you to be able to buy or sell certain quantity of stock at a given date. Now, there is a lot more that can be said about stock options, and you can always go to the Google to help yourself. There are some attributes of stock options that you need to be aware of. There are, first of all, there are two types of stock options. They are called calls and puts. So the general tendency is if you will buy calls if you are bullish on certain instrument, and you will buy puts if you are bearish on that instrument. There is also a strike price and expiry date, which means like you are buying you're not just buying the future, but you are buying that particular stock price at a certain strike price. And the expiry date concept is a novel one if you are a newbie investor, and you should get very well accustomed to this before delving into options. This is because like the intrinsic value of an option decays exponentially as the expiry date comes near. So to give you an example of what is a option, right now there is a nifty call option available at rupees 400, and the strike price of this call option is 9150, and the expiry date is 28th of May. What it means is like you are paying right now 400 rupees so that you will be able to buy 75 units of Nifty on 28th of May at price 9150. I said 75 because for this particular option the lot size is 75. Similarly, the other ways, when you are buying put, what you are doing is you are paying commission of 380 rupees so that you can sell 75 units of Nifty at price 9100 on 28th of May. So this is a simple concept. Call is a bullish side and put is the bearish side one. And just like you can buy or sell stocks, you can also go long or short on options. That means you can buy or sell both kinds of options, calls or puts. Now comes a very, very big disclaimer that if you are a newbie into stock options, then you should do your homework before proceeding. Just do not trust my words, because even I have burnt my hands at stock options, and you proceed with very utmost care from here on. So there are multiple strategies now. There are not just multiple, there are like a lot more strategies of options that can be implied for different kinds of environments. And right now what I'm assuming is that Nifty volatility is going to come back. So I'm going to suggest you two strategies. The first strategy is long straddle. Long straddle, simply said, you can buy a call and a put at the same strike price, and preferably both the strike price is near the current stock price. In that case, you can say you have successfully executed a straddle. How does the straddle work? For example, let's say you buy a Nifty call for 9150, that is expiring on 25th of June, and you also buy a put at 9100 and expiring at 25th of June. Now there are different prices for these calls and puts. So for call you are going to pay 400 rupees commission. For put you are going to pay 380 rupees. Nifty's value at the present moment is 9154. Now the advantage of this strategy is like the loss is limited. You are not leveraging, or you are not going to lose more than what you paid for. your total known loss for this transaction in the worst case will be 400 plus 380.95, which is 780. But the upside is unlimited. How come it is unlimited? This is because if Nifty is not going to stay stable, if it is going to fall dramatically, or if it is going to go up dramatically, in both of these cases, your upside is like it grows exponentially. So this is the thing with volatility. Your upside grows with volatility is the this strategy is specifically targeted for. Now this is a payoff graph of the same straddle that I discussed in the previous slide. Here, as you can see, the orange line tells you what is your profit and loss at the expiry, and the blue line is like what are your chances of getting that profit and a loss in the coming 12 days. On the y-axis, you can see here there is profit and loss. On x-axis, I have values of Nifty. So as you can clearly see, where the orange line is making absolute bottom is where you are going to make maximum loss, which was around 780 as I discussed in the previous slide. And in these two ranges, whether Nifty goes below 8,300 or whether it goes above 9,600, in both of these cases you are going to make profit. Similarly, this range, if Nifty stays in 9,500 range, like between 8,300 to 9,400, then you are going to make loss. As long as Nifty does not stay exactly at the same level, 9,100, your loss will be little less than the worst loss, which is 780. So this is the payoff chart, and you can clearly see that if you expect the Nifty to be going up or making a big swing, then you are about to make a lot of profit. Now this graph I have drawn expecting the volatility to be 25%. If I simply increase that volatility to 40%, what happens? You can easily see that your profit zone has increased, which is like even if Nifty goes below 8,600 or 9,000 or goes above 9,400, then you are going to make profit, and your loss zone has narrowed. Your loss zone here would be simply between 8,600 to 9,300. This was the first strategy. Exercise it with caution. I have given you real-time examples, but do your own homework before delving into it. Or if you are okay to lose short amount of money, you can definitely try that. The other strategy I'm going to discuss here is also known as short-term OTM call vertical. So this is a bearish strategy. What it means is that previous strategy that we saw was directionless. You will make money profit either ways, like even if the Nifty goes down or if Nifty goes up. This particular strategy is a bearish one. That means you are expecting the Nifty to fall. And this is my assumption that Nifty has seen lows around 7,700, and from that level onwards, Nifty has been steadily climbing up. I think it has done enough now, and there is a chance that it may fall. So if you are bearish, then you use this strategy. So the strategy works like this: you sell a call and buy a higher strike call at the same expiration. So say example, you sell Nifty call with strike price 9,000 rupees expiring on 25th of June, and you also buy a Nifty call at 10,500 expiring at the same date, and Nifty at present being 9,154. So one thing to note here is, like, when you sell a Nifty call, you are going to receive commission. That means you are going to receive those 635 rupees, and to buy the other call you are going to spend 94. So 635 minus 94 is what you are going to gain the very first day. Now this is the payoff chart of the second strategy. So as you can see, this being a bearish strategy, you are going to make profit only if Nifty stays below the 9,350 levels. Once it starts climbing up, then you are going to start losing your money. But as you can see, the tail is long, which means like you will lose all of the money only if Nifty hits like 10,000 or so. And to my knowledge, I think it is very rare thing to happen. It may happen, and this is where your bearish strategy can go wrong. The earlier strategy straddle will work little better, or if you think like Nifty is going to stay within this range, you can employ a different strategy, which is known as iron condor, which works very well for less volatile kind of a period. So I just wanted to make you aware of these strategies, that these are there. You can Google is always your friend, and you can search and know little more about the strategies. Okay, so that was it that I wanted to tell you today. Please let me know how do you like my presentation. Subscribe my channel, and please let me know in the comments. Thank you.